Good morning, my walking manifestators. I hope you're having a great start of your day. And today is my second video for this vlog series of my feminine essence glow print. And I'm so excited. And today I was gonna skip making a video, in all honesty, because I got a facial yesterday and I can't wear makeup. And one of these insecurities of mine is I need to look the most professional possible so that I can make sure that I go out there and make videos. But I said, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that today. I want to speak from the heart and just get on a video. And literally, I just left the gym and make a video for you. And I really think this is going to hit home for some of you girls because it hit for me yesterday really, really hard. And if you're in this journey of development, right? You're trying to grow. The first thing you need to understand that is going to help you in truly changing your life is reframing the way you look at life. Like, that is the number one thing that's helped me. And what the fuck do I mean by this? Okay. So, yesterday, and yes, I am a little emotional because I just finished making a video for my TikTok and I was like, you know what? I need to do this video for YouTube. So I went to Juarez. And for those of you that don't know Juarez, it's Mexico, right? Search it. It's a very humble place. And since I was little, I've had a relationship going over there because of my life and just shit that's happened. And when I was growing up, I always remember saying, I want to help. I want to help more people. I just want to help more people that have gone through the things that I've gone through and worse things, because I know there's people out there that have gone through way worse. So that's always been in my mind, right? So fast forward to yesterday, I was on, I was driving. I was going to go get something to eat. And as I'm passing by this like street, I see two kids, literally like 15, 17, jumping another kid, same age. When I tell you the rage that I felt, it was like, I thought that was like my brother. I felt like that was me getting jumped. Like, it was like the old version of me, right? Like, just going through this like emotional state of seeing this kid and his fear. All of this happened within a, like, I'm driving, okay? Like, this kid, all of this is happening super fast. But since it's like an intersection in which there's like a perfect way for you to like stop because there's more cars that come, I was going to get on the sidewalk because in Mexico, if you know, you know, but if you don't know, it's just, everything's really like crazy and the streets are really crazy. So it's not the same as in the United States, like me saying I'm on the highway and I'm going to get on the street. It sounds very unrealistic in the States, but in Mexico, that's very like, yeah, you were in the street, you were on the highway and then turning, you're now on the street. Part of me wanted to defend that kid and I wanted to at least scare the other kids, because part of me in my mind, I always think of the other family. It's crazy how I've conditioned, and this is why I say that reframing is so powerful. I now reframe to think of every single part that could potentially be a factor. And I'm not saying I'm perfect because there's so many things that I still need to improve on. But this has been a big part of my success in going from making freaking $16,000 a year to going to pass my first 100K, to making over $30,000 in commission checks, to my Airbnb. And I throw all of this because people care about the status and the things that you've acquired instead of what they tell you. But this is what's helped me, literally, the reframing part. And in this moment, in this microsecond, when I contemplate scaring these other kids, and like one part of me is like, run him over, and the other part of me like, they have a family, and the other parts of me like, but he's getting jumped. I didn't do anything. Like, all of this happened and I just like kept driving. And I was so mad because I was just like, man, like, all these scenarios went through my head, right? Like the good and the bad. The good, which was obviously like, this is part of his soul contract. This is part of his lesson. This is part of what he needs to go through. And if you know, I've mentioned this a lot in the channel, soul contracts are a big part of my journey and why I personally believe in the stuff that I believe in and why the world is so fucked up. That's the only thing that helps me sleep at night, because if not, personally, I feel like I couldn't really make sense of why the world is the way it is, right? But soul contracts have allowed me to understand that we come to this earth with a purpose and there's a lesson tied to that. So that was a good part of my thought process, right? I'm telling myself this and I'm like, Alexa, calm down. Like, this is part of his journey. And then the other part was like, he could have just gotten shanked. He could have just gotten right now stabbed and you didn't do anything. Why am I telling you this? Well, as I'm having this thought, I'm like calming myself down and I'm like, okay, Neville Goddard's teachings. And if you don't know who Neville Goddard is, you need to get yourself a copy of the deluxe version, which has all the books in it. But he talks a lot about the law of assumption and how your imagination creates your reality. And this is where I teach all of my teachings. I get inspiration from beautiful teachings that have been left for us through millennia. And now we have them here. We have them here and we can use them to our advantage. So Neville Goddard talks a lot about how when we are thinking about something, we can bring it into existence. So I start telling myself, okay, how can I recreate this picture, this interaction that I just had, right? I start thinking like this kid is safe. And as I'm thinking of this, I look over and there's two other little boys, same age, probably like 15, 16. And the little kid that was sitting down, I see him, he's about to stand up. He blesses himself and he's about to start asking for money. They have, if you're not familiar, in Mexico and Juarez, they do a lot of things to get money. And in the streets, instead of you, like here in the States, you know how, at least here in Texas, when you're at the street light, there'll be people asking for money. And typically, this is the two types of people you see. I don't care if you're blue, purple, white, whatever, okay? Two types of people. One that is doing something in exchange for you to give them something, and the other that's just asking, right? And typically the ones that are asking, for me, the people that are younger, I'm like, I'm still working past not judging that, because in my mind, I still have to tell myself they have a story as well, Alexa. And just because you figured it out doesn't mean that they've figured it out yet, right? So I try and remind myself to show grace, but it's usually easier for me, if I'm being honest with you, to show grace when it comes to the older folks and the kids. The older folks, because come on, they're freaking old and the discrimination in this world is real, and people don't give them jobs because they're old, right? Because what are you gonna do? And the kids, because they're kids. So anyways, as I see the kids, right, asking for the money, he blesses himself. And over there, what they do when they're asking for money, some of these kids will go by your car and have a little water bottle and throw it on your windshield and then clean it for you. And then whatever you want to give them, you give it to them. And then sometimes, hold on. Okay, sorry. I want you guys to understand what I'm saying, and me being emotional is not going to help. So I need to calm myself down. So anyways, some of them sometimes will put gasoline or something that is going to be like inflammable, because they literally will, with that substance in their mouth, blow it into the air and cause for like a show of fire. Yeah. They're poisoning themselves essentially for fucking money. And so these kids were cleaning the windshield, and when I saw them, he had already asked 2 other cars if he could clean their windshield for money, and they said no. So when he comes up to mine, I had change, so I said yes. And one of my goals this year, so that you can understand the backstory of this, my word for this year is love. Love has been very big on my list, and in order for love to happen, I've asked God, universe, to guide me, right? And whatever that path looks like. So when that happened and I saw him, typically I just give it to them and I said, like, God bless you, right? Like, I don't have an interaction more than that. There's been one individual that me and my family have had a lot of interactions with, because I always saw him when I was little on the bridge coming back, and we always like asked him, hola Benito, and we had conversations with him. And I was like, you know what, I need to do that. I need to do what my grandma has taught me and have a conversation. So I was like, in Spanish, right? I was like, can I ask you a question? And he was like, yes. And I was like, where are your parents? And then he was like he looked at me like, I'm not sure if the look on his face was like in shock because I was having a conversation with him, or like not really wanting to tell me where his parents really were because he was embarrassed. That was the vibe I got. And he was like, at home. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, you're just out here working, right? He's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, you know what? I just want to tell you something. And this is all happening super fast. The lights are about to turn. I was like, I just want to tell you that not too long ago, I needed to find something to help him in this part, right? It wasn't about me. It was about him. And I wanted to share something with him that was going to maybe, in a way, brighten his morning. So I just told him, I was like, you know what? I went through a lot of hard stuff. And at one point I was in the streets. And I just want to tell you that your mindset is everything. So his eyes, like when I tell you, and he smiled, right? And he was like, thank you very much. And he got really shocked to just expect to hear me tell him that. And he went on his way. And why am I saying this to you? Why did I come on here? And one of my second vlogs for this empowerment movement that I believe in, of you becoming the best version of yourself, why am I telling you that this is important in your growth? Well, because until you can change the way you look at things, you're never going to change really what you're looking at. The way you change, once you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. We've all heard that saying. And it's very true. And I think the reason why so many of us still find a reason to complain is because we don't think often enough of how hard somebody else's life is. I watched this movie, gosh, what's the movie? I'll insert it here. Lion is the name of the movie. You need to go watch it. There's just so much going on in the world that I don't think we take the time to really think about. Once we can start really reframing every single thing that we're constantly thinking about, our life seems so easy, effortless. And now I'm not saying for you to say that your life isn't hard and validate the things you're going through, because I get it. We all have demons, we all have struggles, but the reason I say it, and I decided to say, you know what, I'm gonna come on here and be vulnerable on the channel, it's not for likes, it's not for shares. It truly is because I believe in the message that I'm sharing, and I believe that the more of us that we understand this, the freer we're gonna be, the less consumption we're going to need, the less we're gonna want to go out there and buy the next house and the next car and the next nice thing, because we're full internally and we're making a difference with all of these other people in the world, because we're saying, you know what? I don't need to be a millionaire to make a difference. This weekend, I am going to wrap up 20 burritos and hand them out to the homeless. I don't need to wait until freaking Christmas and Thanksgiving. And I just think that as a society, that message is the message that's going to change us. Once we can reframe our mindset of saying, you know what, even through the darkest night of the soul, everything happened for me, and it's making me a better person. And there is somebody out there struggling. Like, I'm telling you, something that I do to myself a lot, and I know that there's a lot of different perspectives when it comes to this. This is why I say that take what you will and leave what you don't need. But at this current stage in my life, I like to look at, in my mind, I think a lot about all the kids that are kidnapped and that are taken from their families and trafficked, sent out. And there's so much happening that we don't talk about. Why? Why don't we talk about it? Because it's uncomfortable? Why don't we talk about it? Because it's polarizing? Why don't we talk about it? Because we think we don't have a solution? The less we talk about it, the less power we're giving to something that we actually could do together for a change. And you know, if you're looking to develop yourself and grow and you want more money, I'm telling you, once you can understand the law of one, which is treat everybody as if they were you, your whole life changes. Like right now, it is 1. It is 1 on a Thursday. I don't think I would be relaxing making a video right now. Just got done at my hot works if I wouldn't have been through the stuff that I've been through. And I'm thankful for that now, because I get to understand the pain that somebody says when they say some of these things that hurt them. So your pain is not your weakness. It's your biggest strength. And once you can understand that and you change the way you look at everything, you go from the victim mentality to the how can I create the life that I want mentality, to the hero mentality. So the message for today is to create the thoughts that you want. Reframe what you want. Once you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. But on a positive note, it's a brand new day and you get to create anything. So it doesn't matter if you've been living your life in a way that wasn't authentic with you, and it doesn't matter if you were living your life in a way that wasn't the best for you. You get to decide what you want to do moving forward. Stop looking for that next shiny object and look at yourself in the mirror and start asking yourself the deep questions. This is why I love the community that we're creating with Walking Manifestator, because it's a space for individuals to share the things that are going to make us better. And this is why I tell you that the one thing you need to do in order for you to truly say, okay, Alexa, how can I grow with everything you're telling me and have a 10x change in my life? It's by getting yourself somebody that is going to be a mentor, whether it's through books, whether it's through a coaching program, whether it's through podcast. If you're not listening to the Walking Manifestator podcast, check it out down below. There's free resources out there. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse. If you can't afford to hire a coach right now, that's fine. Do the work that we talk about on all the free resources, manifest more abundance, and then invest the coach. I remember when I first invested on my first coach, I'm going to tell you, I want to be very open with you about this, because for those of you that are going to get triggered, it's just because you need some work to do, and that's fine. It's part of the journey. I know I would have been triggered a long time ago if I would have said this, but when I spent $20,000 on my first coach, it was a rubber band stretch for me, because like I could have put $20,000 into buying the down payment of another house. But instead I said, I'm going to give it to this person, because I'm going to buy a program from this and I'm going to get a benefit and I'm going to put it in me and I'm going to become better. And it's 10x. Every single time I've invested in me and not in the stock market, not in the housing market, not in any other market, but in my market, things just grow, things just flourish. So that's your message for today. Invest in yourself and watch as things continue to grow and reframe your mindset. I love you. If you're not in the Walking Manifestator community yet, why aren't you in the Walking Manifestator community? I'm sorry if I made this video with my glasses the whole time. I got a little bit of irritation going on right now in my eye and I was crying too. So we're going to keep them all the whole time. But the next video will be me not having my glasses. So in case somebody was coming at me and going to say, why did she have her glasses on? Which I know the vibe that we put out in this community, honestly, if you're going to give negativity, you're just going to get blocked. So we don't even have time for that. I love you. I'll talk to you guys on the next one.